Good afternoon, dear judges, teachers and friends. Today is a very special day, as we have a chance to participate in such a contest devoted to extremely important and interesting topic, which is recovery and challenges it brings. But first, let me introduce my team and myself. I'm Sergey, this is Evgeniy and Evgenia. Two genius gotta make a wish.
Okay, and while you're daydreaming, I'll start with a little fairy tale.
Okay.
Once upon a time, in a cartoon world, lived a beautiful princess. And like any other girl, she had a dream. A dream to meet...
Let me guess, lots of puppies.
No.
Maybe a little pink pony?
No, a dream to meet Prince Charming one day. And for her birthday, creators wanted to give her the best present and draw a prince for her.
How sweet of them. But unfortunately today this situation would look more like...
Wait!
What have you done?
Well, technically, it's not me. It is the crisis.
All right.
And today, our presentation in search of happy ending deals with the Russian animation industry and its recovery. At first sight, the cartoon problems may seem insignificant, but in fact, it is an issue of national importance. During the presentation, we are going to tell you an amazing story of one company which created a new era and made an incredible breakthrough, while the others tried to scramble for survival.
But first of all, let us give you a brief background of this fascinating and truly unbelievable story. Russian animation history started only after the Second World War, and the industry started to truly develop only during the Soviet times. And just as usual, we wanted not just to catch up with the West, but to excel in every possible way. So no resources was spared for that matter. And that the USSR to quickly becoming one of the biggest cartoon producers in the world.
Yeah. As a result, in the late 60s, Soviet studios created more than 300 hours of cartoons annually and received numerous international awards.
Soviet animation had been flourishing until the 90s when the Soviet Union collapsed, and the animation industry was among the victims.
Right you are, just like everything else that was fully dependent on the state.
Its life science slowly faded away.
That's actually how it always happens. Politics in, cartoons out. But in 2004, some positive tendencies appeared. Our government started to intensify support for the industry. New studios appeared, and it all resulted in a growing number of new projects released every year. But then, the crisis broke and quickly wiped out results of all efforts. So, what we had is a half-dead industry surrounded by numerous problems.
First of all, due to financial crisis, all financing of the industry dried up. The best offer from Russian TV channels to the animators hardly reached $900 per hour, which is much below break-even point. To add insult to injury, some other developments worsened the situation. The law forbidding any type of advertising during children-oriented programs was adopted. That made the TV channels reluctant to show lots of cartoons. Let alone the competition from powerful rivals. Disney Company offered the first TV channel its cartoons at trifling price at about $100 per hour and on very tough terms. According to that agreement, the channel can broadcast any Russian animation films.
Wait a minute, and what was the channel's reaction? Did they accept it?
Well, have you seen any Russian cartoons in the first recently?
No, I don't think so.
Unfortunately, that's the answer to your question.
So, naturally, companies, in order to survive, try to adapt to those new circumstances. That's why now we'll have a look at some strategies the companies have applied to counteract the problems.
First one is collaboration with the industry tycoons. This one is pretty obvious. If you got talent and ideas, but you have no money, find others who have and who really value what you do. This is the way 3Tech company went cooperating with Disney. The problem is that the company is losing its identity because it's just seamlessly integrated into Disney products.
Does it mean that the only way to survive is to sell your creative genius to some greedy fat cats from Hollywood? Is it possible to raise money here in Russia?
Well, who controls all the money in a state capitalism country?
Well,
the government.
State.
Exactly. So the second strategy implies using government as a source. A good example of using this administrative resource is the Lontic, short animation series which were financed thanks to the top state-level connections of the president of the second channel that airs it.
But did they reach what they wanted? probably yes if we look at an annual growth rate of the Lunatic project. It has averaged 7% during the last 5 years. And surely they survived and sort of recovered, but can we consider it a successful and effective recovery?
In order to understand, we probably should have a look at these figures.
Yeah,
Nice.
these figures belong not just to the most successful cartoon, but to the most successful Russian media project of the past few years, Смешарики. 62% average growth every year. Not that bad for the industry, that's that, right?
Absolutely,
No,
but how?
From creative point of view, this animated series follows two main principles. First, characters are easy to remember because they are based on simple circle, so children can draw them by themselves. And the second one is that here is no traditional opposition of good and bad. There are no negative characters among Смешарики.
Is that it, you may ask? It is still just a cartoon, not that different from others. How can they possibly run miles ahead of the industry with just different design? Moreover, it looked as if for them there was no crisis at all.
There was, but not where you or other companies expect to find it. Let's start from the very basics of business. As you know, it is vital for every company to have a clear and proper understanding of its core business. In order to define it, the company should answer three main questions.
Who is our target audience? What needs do we satisfy? And finally, how do we do it?
So now, let's take a quick look at how most companies in the animation industry traditionally answer these questions. They work for the kids, obviously, yeah? The need their product satisfies is the need for the visual entertainment. And finally, they deliver their products via TV and sometimes digital media.
Right.
This is neither good nor bad. Yeah. It's just a traditional way of doing things in the animation industry.
That's why when the crisis hit, most animation companies kept thinking in this paradigm. Due to the crisis, traditional ways of financing dried up. What did they do? They embraced cost-cutting policies and tried to find another ways of getting money.
That is, they tried to deal with external problems, begging for money and looking for alliances. How predictable!
Unimaginative.
And even primitive.
Exactly. But Смешарики have taken a totally different approach. By finding a new core for the entire industry, they redefined those questions, answered them again, and discovered a totally new perspective on what they really do.
They saw the void and filled it.
They realized that they're working not just for the kids, because it is parents who pay money for them. And do they really need something entertaining in the black box of their TVs? No, their true need is a diverse ecosystem which is delivered through numerous channels to children's everyday life. And for kids, it creates much higher involvement and affection to the characters. And for parents, it solves lots of problems, like choosing a present. Do you know that by the statistics, Russian Santa Claus receives 65 letters out of 100 asking for Смешарики as a present?
Really?
Yes. And moreover, it is an effective way to keep kids busy while having a romantic evening in a restaurant. Yeah. And be honest, you are ready to pay for it.
Actually, even our slides are Смешарики style now, right?
Yeah.
So, this is the place to look for the origins of the crisis, not a financial, but a functional one. Here lies the key to the recovery of the industry and to a new challenge, which is not trying to find a pile of money to keep doing what you used to, but on remains of the withering business, which no longer satisfies its customers, building a new one.
Now let's have a look where this paradigm has led our company. They started only 7 years ago without any government connections or generous sponsors. Their core business was cartoon production. Though experimenting with different and new business directions, they kept going along this classic paradigm.
But everything changed in 2008 when the crisis forced Смешарики to redefine its core business. The new core was a foundation for a wide and highly diversified portfolio of businesses within the Riki Group, established right in the midst of the crisis in 2009. Their specific focus was on merchandising, and now company achieved some outstanding results.
Смешарики is the first Russian company which started to produce toys, writing tools and games with images of their heroes in it. Its range of product reaches 3,500 items, and it is now a huge branch with 12 branded outlets and with excellent business prospects.
Well, by the year 2009, the brand awareness reached 95%. Can you imagine? It means that 95 out of 100 knows them and moreover loves them.
It seems like my sister is one of those. She's just смешарики addicted.
Well, my brother as well.
Well, guys, honestly, me too.
Come on.
Oh no, boys will be boys.
No way. But, okay, let's get back to the business.
Yeah.
Okay? 95% brand awareness.
And this was the new strategic decision. They decided to expand beyond the Russian borders. Thanks to participating in different international festivals, they managed to attract attention of the leading kidvids of the world, which soon came up with offers to broadcast this cartoon in their countries. So смешарики took this office really seriously, and they made a bet on long-term relations. So they decided to adapt their content to the local audiences. That's how they got new logos and even new brand names.
Okay, but why such strange logos? Why Kikoriki?
They named this after a name of leading kidvid which airs it in Europe.
Oh, okay. What about Gagoriki then?
Well, Gagoriki is a brand name for смешарики in the US, and it means simply go Ricky.
Awesome. But what about...
You mean 开心吃?
Probably.
This is a Chinese name for смешарики, where it was launched just last week. It literally means with open heart.
Wow, beautiful.
Yeah.
So the company has entered a new stage where the objective is to become global. It is completely new and different challenge which probably may be discussed right here in 5 years or so.
So, through their cartoon, смешарики educate kids. But there's something that adults can learn from their case as well.
So let's consider what the company has done in order to recover itself. The company has, first of all, boldly reinvented its core business. And by doing so, it reshaped the very architecture of the business. Or in other words, it has changed the rules of the game. And now others have to play in their field. So as a result, the company has become an icon of successful recovery and a symbol of prosperous business in modern Russia.
Happy end for our industry and our princess.
No way, there is no such thing as happy end. Only happy ending.
New challenges ahead.